Welcome to another episode of Environmental Social Justice. Today, our special guest is Mr. Terry Marshall. He is the founder of a new company called Educated Socially. Welcome to the show, Terry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Of course. What I love about Educated Socially is that it's a social justice issue. You are providing equal access to education for students across the country. Why did you launch this company?
So you say that and you think this is something that should be the norm, right? That it should be prolific, that everyone should have access, equal access. Everyone should be given the opportunity to thrive. Yet you look around and that's just not the case, right?
Absolutely.
Or the structure or the fabric of our society is just not built that way. And I felt as though, with me having the power vested to me, I should be able to affect some change. And if I fail trying, I have to absolutely try. So that's my mentality going into it. And, I just want to provide and do the best I can, to help others.
And that's, education, a lot of people don't consider education as being a social justice issue. It's just not in the forefront of their mind. And it should be, because there are many students left behind in education. I learned differently. Standardized tests were not my friend. And it was harder for me to pass a test than my, colleagues. So having this peer-to-peer studying, which is awesome. And you also offer something called study buddies. So maybe explain what that is, because that's kind of cool concept you got going.
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head, really. Standardized tests is just not for everyone.
Yeah.
You go to class, maybe a lecture hall is filled with 200 students listening to one professor, right? But the manner in which he or she is, transmitting that information is just not going to be received the same by every single student. So, you found that students found it more beneficial. And when you ask the students to say, well, I go to my peers, they tell you that. Right. So It made sense at the outset for us to, listen to the customer. Right. The customer is saying we want our peers to help us. And we decided to build a platform that supported that, and then supported the concept of, education being available, resources being available, access being available. That was the whole name of the game from day one.
And I could kind of guess that peer-to-peer or even a study buddy would be a friendlier environment. Maybe a student would be more willing to say, hey, I don't understand that, or this doesn't make sense to me. They might be a little more open to talk to a peer than to approach a parent or a teacher, is my guess.
That's correct, right? So we wanted to make it unmediated. We just didn't need, even the concept of a teaching assistant is not where we wanted to go, right? We wanted to have the professors, the TAs out of the picture and just tell the students, hey, let us give you the opportunity to thrive, right? And now we found that there's way more popularity with object-based learning, right? So a student can set that target, decide how he or she wants to get there. Not necessarily, hey, this is the path you have to take, because again, it's going to be absolutely different for every student.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. And I'm glad that people like you are identifying this and finding ways to fix it, because, it wasn't that long ago that the teacher teaching the classroom was the only way.
Absolutely.
And we all learn differently. I'm very tactical. If I can touch something and feel it, I learn. If I can do something, I learn. Give me a book, 5 minutes later, I'll have no idea what I just read. It's just the way I actually used to transcribe my books. I used to write everything out, which was painstakingly long and killed my hands, but I had to learn by doing and writing everything out. The reason I bring this up is you have this great concept of study buddies. How do they find each other? How do the study buddies get paired?
Sure. So, we try to follow the model of, social networking, right? We combine that social piece to on an education platform, and the real, not secret, but what we hope would work is that the students who are familiar with friending each other, liking posts, add a friend from a specific circle into a group, right? We call that, your study group or learning community. These are now familiar actions that our students are doing every single day, just not with the purpose of hey, I need to learn something. I need help with something. So the whole idea is that we build the environment, right, with keys that they understand, right? They understand that I can go on a community forum, or I can go on a wall and I can post something, and that information is received by someone else, and that other person can contribute to that post via commenting, sharing, liking. I mean, these are just everyday activities now for the last, say, 17 years. At Facebook, I think it was 2004, right? My math might be a little off, but you get the point, right? The point is that the society has changed. You have to evolve. Okay, what is going to work, right? And then the whole concept of mobile, we just had our mobile app prototype built, right? So we're going to have a mobile feature where same thing, students are on their phones. You look at all the statistics of saying, hey, you want to go mobile, right? Answers, the manner in which the student is receiving this information now is so rapid because it's right at their fingertips, right? So again, listening to the customer, understanding how technology is evolving. So we're trying our best to keep up and just deliver this, all for the sake, though, of education, all for the sake of allowing access to everyone. And that's just it. And that's the focal point. Always, any decision we make is going to be centered around, providing this tool at little to no cost, right? Online platform, which is free to access, right? And then you find ways to monetize it, right? And that's just the key. The key is you cannot close the door from the outset, because there's going to be some underserved community that just, students in underserved communities who are not going to be able to have access. And that's not the goal here. Just absolutely not.
And I mean, that is the key, is the underserved communities, people who don't have access to, a proper education, whatever their circumstances may be, they can access it through here. And this is available countrywide, correct? I mean, anyone can use it, and even internationally, if I guess they wanted to.
There we go. I mean, that, and not to cut you, but that was a feature and a facet of something positive that we took from COVID, right? Now, this global economy, even I was on the board of the alumni association for Syracuse University. That's where I attended college. And what we found was that programming halted in person, right? You just couldn't go to a cocktail party or do this or that. But what you were able to do is have programming now online, and you had guests from all over the world, which was super cool, right? Same with Educated Socially. There's no closed door. We will eventually build language packs to have different languages on the platform. Right now it's only English, but you get the point, right? The point is that it is a global forum, a global community that is there to learn. And that's super cool.
And, I'm glad you brought up the COVID thing, because with the onset of us being able to do video communication as well as we are doing it now, one thing that's been discussed repeatedly amongst professionals and children alike is shy, introverted people are more comfortable in a Zoom session than in person. I am one of those people. I am a forced extrovert. So when I'm at a cocktail party, I would much rather be at home, or I hide in a corner. So when Zoom came up, I was like, I can engage with people. I talk to people. I've got this security blanket. So I can only think that students that may be a little shy, a bit introverted, maybe afraid to ask questions in class, they'd probably be more outgoing and say, hey, I don't understand this, or could you explain that again? Or go to their study buddy and say, hey, could we work through this again? Opening up a million doors of opportunity there.
Absolutely. I always say that we've not invented anything or reinvented it any wheel, right? It's anything that we've built into the platform has always been there. It's almost just like a repurposing of the technology. Okay, technology's here. Let's use it for this exact purpose. That's all. That's it, right? And it seems like a no-brainer, but yet,
it's the simplest ideas that are brilliant, though. I mean, honestly. And this is a brilliant idea, that giving this access to everyone around the globe. And I mean, just the global aspect to me is awesome, because, growing up, we had pen pals, and, 6 to 8 weeks later, you got a letter. You can have kids from other countries sharing their ideas, sharing their thoughts.
Yes.
I think it would bring a lot more communities together in a peaceful manner if we did more of that, more
Yes.
engaging, more social activities. So I think this will actually grow to be something much bigger than simply kids passing, classes. And is it only for grade school? I mean, what's the target age range for this?
Well, because of privacy laws, we're almost forced to start, say, from that 14 and up, right?
Okay.
There are different. You're dealing with a different set of rules when you kind of delve into like the kindergarten and early education years. But what we can do is, I think over time, we can look at providing a tool or maybe a subset of EDSO as it is, to that younger age group, get the parents more involved.
Yeah.
But really, you're looking at middle, high school, and then you want to really continue the journey with that student as they go, they progress into college or postgraduate studies. I mean, they always have this tool that they're super familiar with. And, really, I believe in just being a lifelong learner.
And
So,
yeah, and having that mobile app with you at all times. I mean, you would have the world at your fingertips, quite literally, for
exactly,
anything.
exactly, and
And
that's it.
and you said it's free to access. So are there levels for participation, just so the public can understand when they want to join?
No, I mean, so when you sign up, you're going to be a student, you're going to be a teacher. I'm going to have a feature called lifelong learners, like myself. Right now, if I sign up, I'll be a student. Even though I'm not enrolled in formal college right now, I have my alma mater, so I can associate myself with Syracuse University, for example, right? And I can get on there. I can you know answer questions. I can help. I can contribute. So I'm a professional. I have an education. Okay, engineering was my background, right? And I know the concept of physics. I know mathematics. I know any piece of information that is useful to somebody else. Anyone can share that, right? And we all know something. That's the
Yeah,
beautiful thing about being on this earth. We all know something, and just
absolutely.
if you're just invited to share that in a peaceful environment, comfortable, easy to use tool, why not? Why not?
Many years ago, a friend of mine coined the phrase, everyone's an expert at something.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely true. So I love what you're doing. Guys, please check out Educated Socially. It's educatedsocially.org or
.com.
.com?
Yeah. .com.
.com.
Yep.
It's a great group. If you have students that could use a little extra help, highly recommend it. It's an awesome platform. And plus, you can make friends around the world. This is awesome. So thank you guys. Thank you, Terry. You are doing magnificent things. I think this is going to grow to be like a world dominating, not dominating in a bad way, in a good way, bringing people together across every cultural, social barrier known to man. You start kids young learning about each other, they're just going to learn, people inherently like each other. And I think that's awesome what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And absolutely thank you for having me. And, we invite, anyone who has, a piece of information to provide us feedback, or investors, anyone who wants to be a part of this is certainly, there's that open mindset of, hey, we welcome you to be a part of this. So.
Well, then even better. It's open doors for anyone. Just come find Terry, ask questions, get involved, and join up on the Educated Socially group. It's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
There you go. That's it.
All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Have a great day, and thank you again. This was wonderful. I love what you do.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Okay.